as these are two teams, one coming off a loss in Puerto Rico, and the United States coming off a decisive win. You see there, 88 degrees in the Dominican Republic, 66% chance of rain. So a little bit of a dreary day. Hopefully we'll be able to play this one with clear skies and all of that good stuff. So this is the group stage. Again, like I mentioned, 20-0 was the final score for the U.S. against Grenada. So they have 3 points. Costa Rica has 3 as well. And then Puerto Rico and Grenada don't have any points yet because they have not been able to pull off a victory. We've only played one day, or each team's only played one game so far. And so there's plenty of time to turn things around. As this is a schedule today at this specific park in the Dominican Republic. So Grenada and Costa Rica will follow this one at 7 o'clock Eastern time if you're watching from the United States. And then on the other side, I think Panama, Mexico is a big one to watch, but there's some other games going on as well in the other group, as both groups are playing to move on to the round of 16. And then after that, everyone's playing to get a spot in the Concacaf final. Obviously, the top 3 teams move on to qualify for the World Cup, the U-17 World Cup, which will take place in India later this year, 2022. Lots of fans out today. Again, United States, Puerto Rico, about to kick off in just a few. Some debuts to tell you about. So the U.S. is putting Abigail Gundry in net. Gundry did not get to play last time around. Lots of players did, but of course the rules in soccer, just 5 subs. So she is making her debut on an international stage in net, and then Ariana Anderson will be on the other side. She is not making her debut, but has been a key part of this Puerto Rico team. Head coach is Sergio Castro for Puerto Rico, and then for the U.S., it's Natalio Astrain. All right, we'll take a pause quickly for the national anthem, and then we'll get going here between Puerto Rico and the United States. All right, getting ready for the Concacaf U17 championship match between the United States and Puerto Rico. Again, both teams playing to move on to the round of 16. There's already a couple teams qualified for that, but the United States and Puerto Rico in the group stage right now, along with Costa Rica and Grenada. Puerto Rico in blue, they've got the white and red stripes as well. And then meanwhile, on the other side, United States in white right now. Got the purple and pink. Again, this tournament being held in the Dominican Republic, as you see our head referee today, Karen Hernandez. And here are the starting lineups for Puerto Rico. So Anderson's been really key in net for Puerto Rico, a team that lost 4-1 to Costa Rica a little bit earlier in this tournament on Saturday. And for the United States, I mean, there's so much to say about what they've done. Again, Hernandez out of Mexico, and then we got a couple of other referees in this CONCACAF game. For the United States, there's a lot of options. Actually, a lot of the key goal scorers in that 20-0 victory over Grenada are not in the starting lineup. As you see, Giselle Thompson, I mentioned Gundry, they're making their international debuts. So Astrain, who's the head coach, Natalia Astrain for the United States, has mixed things up a little bit, just seeing what she can put forward and giving some other players an opportunity. Again, Costa Rica right now is in second, and the United States are in first in the group, and the reason for that is because the United States won 20-0. So if you're doing the tiebreaker there, it's the number of sheer goals scored in the game. And it's important to note that the United States can clinch and move on to the next round with a win or a draw today against Puerto Rico. So we're already talking about that with the United States just because of such a decisive victory. See the formations out there. This is a Puerto Rico team that is kind of mixing things up. The last time around they did a 2-5-3, and it looks like now they'll put 5 defenders out there today. And we'll see if that sticks or if the shape changes throughout the contest. But again, the U17 CONCACAF Championship rounds. Top 3 teams move on and get a chance to go to the World Cup, the U17 World Cup in India happening this year. So a lot of exciting soccer on the horizon. Both these teams would like to get there. The United States has won the CONCACAF Women's Championship at the U17 level 4 times, including most recently in 2018. There was not a 2020 CONCACAF tournament. So we're back and in the Dominican Republic. Up the middle here, dumped off. Trying to split the D. Puerto Rico gets it back. Again, it says that Puerto Rico's in a 3-4-3, but it looked more like 5 defenders back. I think just trying to combat what happened against Costa Rica. Actually cut that lead to 1 before the end of the first half. And then things got out of hand after back-to-back goals from Costa Rica in the second half. Here's a cross in front, and it's tipped out. Looking for another opportunity here, the United States. Schmeiser tries to put it in the 18. And it makes its way to Anderson. Ariana Anderson in net for Puerto Rico. She is a player that is pretty familiar with this United States roster. That's because she plays her youth soccer in the United States, and she actually plays with her teammate is on this roster for the U.S. in Cameron Roller. So you'll see a lot of that actually. 3 Puerto Rican players are actually teammates in the youth circuit with some of these American players. And there's a handful of these players on Puerto Rico that are actually born and raised in the United States. Here's a cut, cross, looking for a shot, tipped out. Back with Riley Jackson. Jackson's the captain today. You see her wearing that band for the U.S. Up the right wing. Giselle Thompson puts it on net. Pulled back, dominating possession here. Schmeiser booted out. Again, the United States scored in the 9th minute against, Grenada. I almost said Costa Rica, but that was Puerto Rico. And after that, just kept on rolling till the 81st minute. I mean, obviously with 20 goals, it's just score after score after score. Two players had 4 goals for the United States. You won't see them in the starting lineup today. I'm sure we'll see them a little bit later if necessary, maybe not. Taylor Suarez fighting for it. Sergio Castro is the head coach for Puerto Rico on the U17 side. Schmeiser controls right foot cross, bumped down, sent out. U.S. attack has been pretty versatile so far. Haven't seen a great shot put on at Anderson. But really, Puerto Rico unable to get to the attacking third quite yet. Centered. Pushed out. Claire Hutton towards Ned, and Anderson cuts off, gets there first. And Ariana Anderson is likely going to face a lot of pressure from this United States team. Clearly that knows how to score extremely well. 20 goals. You're not going to hear about that really ever at an international level. Nine different goal scorers in that game for the United States, so I won't go through all of them. But notably, 3 players scored 3 or more goals in that game for the United States. That has actually never happened for a U.S. women's national team at any level. So think about it like this. Rapinoe, Alex Morgan, Abby Wambach, those teams, they never did that. This is the first time that a team was able to put together such a dominant performance as that. As Astrain, see her gotta be pleased with the way that the U.S. played against Grenada, but now, you know, against a team like Puerto Rico that I think is going to be a little more competitive with the United States. Got to accept a challenge, play at a higher level. And of course, a team to really watch out for is Mexico, and that's true for the U.S. women's national team as well. There's just a lot of great talent in Mexico, so you know, they're in the group stage as well, but wouldn't be surprised if the United States and Mexico play a little bit later in this tournament. In the box, left alone, and a goal for the U.S. Already the United States on the board. Martino with a great finish. Lauren Martino see this play here, just open, splits the D off her right foot. Nice placement there, great feed. Defense was unaware of the cut, and already the U.S. on the board. 6-minute goal for the United States. Again, Lauren Martino. Martino, one of 3 players on the North Carolina Courage Academy team. Of course, if you follow U.S. women's soccer, North Carolina Courage in the NWSL, they've put together a really nice academy, which is great to see in women's soccer. As we got a foul in the middle. It's going to go against the United States. And already, U.S. women's national team at the U17, U20 levels are kind of reaping the benefits of NWSL academies like that. So it's a great thing to see. U.S. soccer in general is kind of embracing that European style. Trying to attack and retaliate off the counter here for Puerto Rico. Or Martino with the first strike. Riley Jackson up the middle, surveys, lots of time and lots of space. Hesitation, trips up a little, dumps it back. Alyssa Gonzalez making her debut as well on the international stage. Claire Hutton plays with it, far corner. Sends it backwards. Here's a cross, service in, the header, and it goes right to Anderson. That's off of Riley Jackson. Nice little look for the U.S. Again, all of these players are born in 2005 or 2006, which, if you're my age, makes you feel quite old, but that's a U17 kind of window. Cutting through, here's a long ball, and it's bounced to Anderson, not quite on target. Taylor Suarez playing on that left wing. U22 World Cup in India this year, and there's already been 7 teams that have qualified, so 7 teams already know that they're making the trip at the end of the year. It's India, China, Japan, New Zealand, Brazil, Chile, and Colombia. Those are the teams already punching their ticket to the World Cup at the U17 level. Of course, at the senior level, U.S. women's soccer trying to do the same thing. Concacaf takes place in July. And so they'll look to punch the ticket to move on to the World Cup in New Zealand and Australia in 2023. Schmeiser can't connect there. Keegan Schmeiser started in both games for the U.S. Martino has a lone goal so far for the United States. There's a shot and a beautiful finish for the United States. 2-0. Amalia Villarreal. Top shelf. U.S. up 2-0. Take a look at this replay one more time. Again, just got that first step. Happened in a split second. And again, the United States picking up right where they left off. Another great feed. Right foot. Not a great angle there. Just got that tiny sliver of a window. Let's see. Anderson comes out. Yeah, goes over her head and towards the near post. Villarreal out of Michigan. Plays for the Jaguars FC in the youth soccer circuit. So 2 players, Martino, Villarreal, make it 2-0 already for the United States. That's 22 goals for the U.S. through 2 games, really through about 100 minutes. Incredible stuff. Looking for the brace, and she whiffs. I'm loving these services from the United States. They've been really solid, finding the seams and the windows for this Puerto Rico defense. Also great off-the-ball movement. Here's a wing, pass out. Here's a service again. Martino! Deflected again to Anderson, and she jumps up to make the grab. Suarez in the mix as well for the United States. Puerto Rico looking to retaliate, going the opposite way. Baez has it taken. Rachel Baez for Puerto Rico. Just saw Nikki Frazier for the United States with that nice little takeaway. Frazier's father, Robin, is a coach in the MLS, coaches the Colorado Rapids in the MLS, and also played for the U.S. men's national team. 27 caps with the U.S. men's national team. And they join an elite club of father-daughters to both get caps at an international level in the United States. Trying to clear it out is Puerto Rico. Angelo and Vanessa DiBernardo are the only other two. DiBernardo on Chicago right now was a beautiful save from Anderson. Had to punch it up over the crossbar. But yeah, Vanessa DiBernardo is playing in the NWSL for the Chicago Red Stars, so that's a good omen if you're Nikki Frazier. It's going to be a corner here for the United States. Looks like Jackson will be the one to take it. This is the first set piece that we've seen either team set up. We haven't seen a free kick really either. So you see coming down is Frazier there, number 2. Claire Hutton in the mix. Jackson with the kick. Looking to head it in. Dumped out. Deflected off, cut off the angle there to Puerto Rico, and the defense, Frazier looking to track it down, and it bounces out on Puerto Rico. So we'll have another corner here for the United States. Jackson just has to go to the opposite side. We'll see what they run on this set piece this time around. Suarez has been pretty open on that left wing, so we'll see if maybe she's able to tap something in. I think she's really looking for one. Back to Jackson. Suarez cuts it back, center. Martino out wide. Oliaro. Just a roller to Anderson, stops it from going out. Again, Villarreal and Martino, the 2 goal scorers for the United States. Happened just a couple minutes into this game. Of course, we're only in the 16th minute so far in the Dominican Republic Concacaf U17 Women's Championship. Suarez up that left side. Tries to find the angle, service in, and a corner is forced. Like I said, she's got the speed out of the Charlotte Soccer Academy. Last option for a set piece here. Obviously, Jackson took it, and then they kind of went back to her. We'll see what they do this time around. This is the 3rd corner in a matter of minutes for the United States. Jackson again. And that's way off. Goes behind the net. As expected, Ariana Anderson is just going to get inundated with shots today. I think that's going to be true for a lot of teams that play the United States in this tournament. United States go with a 4-3-3 setup. But again, those wing backs, they play pretty high for the United States. Not unlike how the U.S. women's national team plays, and a lot of teams in professional soccer play as well. Jackson takes it away, accelerates. Chipped wide, Thompson. Not a corner, but nearly. It's just going to be a throw-in. A couple of steps away for the U.S. Again, there's Giselle Thompson. Some connections for her. I mean, there's connections galore, really, if you go through this U.S. women's national team roster at this level. But Thompson and her sister both play for the U.S. Suarez tried to head it down in the 6, has to boot it out. Still in the 18, Martino loses it, goes behind her. Puerto Rico sends it to the midfield. Quickly, U.S. right there. Yeah, Giselle Thompson's sister Alyssa is on the U20 women's national team for the United States, a team that just won the Concacaf in February at that level. Jackson. Back to Thompson. Pokes it behind from the back. Serviced in, the header, one hop to Anderson. Hutton with a good look. That was tough. Obviously not squared towards net.
Much better. Let's keep it going.
You hear Castro say, much better, let's keep it going for Puerto Rico. And I said this, it's gonna be tough for any team to just try to survive the United States right now, the way that they're playing. These two teams have also never met in a CONCACAF game before. So, add that. Obviously there's just sometimes there's familiarity with these international games with how a country likes to run, how they like to play, but that's not necessarily true today. And again, Puerto Rico have 12 players based in the U.S. Back to Anderson. She really hasn't had any time to take a breath right now. Seven shots for the United States, no shots right now for Puerto Rico. Just an FYI. Of course, the United States has 2 goals. We've only seen one foul in this game. I mean, it's been pretty free-flowing. Not to use a cliche in the broadcasting world, but it's true. Far side, Eva Anderson for Puerto Rico. Can't control. Schmeiser cuts through. Nice little move on her right foot. Villarreal leaves it for Suarez. Not on the same page, Martino keeps it in for the United States, still in the attacking third for the U.S. Back in the box. Villarreal has some time. She heads it home. Anderson punches it out. Suarez with a second chance, and the U.S. goes up 3-0. Like I said, it just felt like she was bound to get one here. This all starts from a beautiful save for Anderson, but she has to go down off the rebound. Suarez right there to clean up for the United States, and it's 3-0. 3 different goal scorers for the U.S., so kind of exactly what they did against Grenada with just getting a bunch of different offense from a bunch of different players. So in the 22nd minute, been 11 minutes without a goal for the United States. They go 3-0. It's got a player down for Puerto Rico on the pitch right now. Agosto is down. Lopez Agosto needs some help, and we got a chance for both teams to get hydrated right now as well. And for Puerto Rico, it's just about, at the moment, getting possession and kind of retaining it, making a couple of connecting passes in a row, seeing if you can get the defense moving right now. I mean, this defense for the United States really hasn't been involved so far unless it's on the set pieces. So just trying to create a good sequence, I think, would help Puerto Rico's momentum and just confidence in this game. As we see, we will have a sub, so Lopez comes out, and coming in for Puerto Rico is Gonzalez. Eli Gonzalez will check in. Villarreal had the second goal for the United States. First one, Martino, then Villarreal, and then we just saw Suarez for the U.S. Just a second foul in this game. Goes against the U.S. Martino. Suarez leaves it up the middle. Right back, bounce around for Puerto Rico. Out that, trying to go up the left flank. Can connect on a pass. Jackson gets it right back. So for the U.S., the two forwards have scored. Center forward and left wing for the United States, and then got a goal from Martino in the midfield as well. Jackson, again, all over the field. She's done a great job of getting in front of any sort of passes. And, you know, Puerto Rico just hasn't been able to kind of put together a couple of passes in a row without being disrupted. Suarez cuts back. Jackson. Villarreal intended for her. Suarez looking for that brace, has some time. Goes to work. Trying to go for the far post. Headed out. Just for a heartbeat though. Tries are coming up. Jackson takes a shot. Anderson with a diving save. See this again. Yeah, I mean, Jackson's done a lot of little things very well. She's been just a nuisance so far in this game for Puerto Rico. So I'm sure she would love to get on the board, just to kind of complete the circle for the United States right now. Behind Thompson. A shot, and it's just off. Misses left for Villarreal. Was looking for Suarez on that back post as well, just to kind of tip it in. And moments like that will probably even become more dangerous the more the United States plays together at this level, just because, you know, these teams coming, or these players coming from different clubs all over the nation, and so haven't had as much time as you would like. Just playing together, those connections often just come from reps. Headed out, we got a foul against the United States, a little shove in the 18, and it's going the other way. So all the fouls have been against the U.S. so far in this game. Again, we haven't had a lot, and we haven't had a lot of stoppage time besides the one injury in this first half. In that 4-1 loss for Puerto Rico against Costa Rica, it's a player off the bench that got the goal. Fabiola Martinez. Interested to see if we see her today. I'm sure we will. Five subs allowed in the Concacaf U-17, by the way, for each team. Astria's got to like what she's seen for the United States so far. Up 3-0, not even a half an hour into this one. Jackson playing from the back. Bounced around, collision, play on. Slips through. Suarez back to play some D. Cutting up in the center. U.S. gets it right back. Seems like Puerto Rico is looking for Baez on that right wing when they can. And that was the best kind of couple of moments we've seen for Puerto Rico so far. Just able to string together some passes, and now it's about getting in the attacking third. We draw a corner, get the chance to run a set piece. Again, Shea Harvey and Charlotte Kohler, the two players that have 4 goals for the United States against Grenada, they're not in this lineup for the U.S. So some of the most dominant goal scorers for the United States didn't get to start today. And I don't know, it probably depends on how this plays out. If we see the lead cut into a little bit by Puerto Rico, then maybe they're inserted in. Maybe they get the game off. Maybe they play half an hour in the second half. Right now for Puerto Rico, it's just, again, about creating some momentum. U.S. just stifling any opportunity to do so. Hutton, Villarreal falls down. Back with Puerto Rico. Nobody home for that clear out. Frazier. Back to the center back in Frazier. Cuts through. A little too far ahead. Anderson dives on it. So the shot's now 11-0 in favor of the United States. U.S. has had 4 corner kicks as well, none so far on the other side for Puerto Rico. No shots for Puerto Rico, too. That's probably the more important stat than anything else. We really haven't said, besides the initial announcement that she's making her debut, we haven't seen Abigail Gundry at all with a ball in this game. Right wing, service in, Suarez, back post, taps it towards the 6 at the penalty spot. Jackson trying to keep it in the 18. Villarreal takes a shot over the crossbar. Anderson with a beautiful save. She's been active in those top corners for the United States, or excuse me, for Puerto Rico today. Here's Jackson, fights to keep it in. That easily could have been a score. She's had a handful of great saves through the air. But again, still 3-0, and now we've got a corner for the United States to make this corner number 5 in this first half. Jackson lofts it in, up in the air. Bobbled around, and it goes out. Frazier last to touch. So, of course, because her father is the Colorado Rapids coach, Frazier plays her youth soccer in Colorado. And players from all over, but North Carolina is the top team and top state players representing. There's players from San Diego, a lot of Southern California players actually. In the 18, Villarreal squares, shoots! The texture on that, but Anderson got in front of that. A kick save. Boy, that was a great shot. Suarez, Martino. That's a trio that has goals. They all just got touches. Jackson looking to make something happen. Suarez with the 1 touch. And Puerto Rico has no option but to clear out. Looks like it last touch, though, off of Villarreal. Look at that. Oh, I thought that Anderson touched that, but looked like it just went off the post. That is a high-level shot, I'll say that. I mean, I call a lot of NWSL games, and that kind of texture and the movement of the ball, you see that at a high level. You really do. Jackson, some room to work. Here's another one going for the second chance. Anderson right there. That battle is fun. Anderson, Villarreal going head to head. Lots of great players have come through the US 17 level. I mean, lots. But Ashley Sanchez right now plays for the Washington Spirit, and she won the Golden Boot way back when with the United States 17 team. Just won the NWSL championship too, so, and likely going to be very competitive this year, if not in the mix for another championship. So obviously many of these players will go on for both teams to play college soccer and to play at even higher international levels. Tipped in, headed down, Claire Hutton. 4-0. Off a beautiful, beautiful cross. Claire Hutton is the 4th goal scorer for the United States. Up 4-0, not even through one half yet. Look at this again. So they go with the short option off the set piece. Suarez has plenty of time to look around. Never a good thing. Hutton, again, not an easy head. I mean, beautiful ball from Suarez that she now has a goal and an assist in this game. Perfectly timed, great placement. And again, without momentum going toward the net, so it's a little bit harder than obviously a header where you're squared up. You're not going to see that much on services. So again, another elite finish from the United States. That connection is clear. Thompson moving quickly. You're getting a feel for this U.S. team and how many options that they have offensively. Of course, you know, we talked about all the players that scored against Grenada, and with 9 different goal scorers and then with 4 today, it's hard. Martino going for the brace. Anderson leaps through the air. But yeah, I mean, if you're a team and you're watching this film and you're preparing for the United States and the next game, the next stage of the group play, or even in the round of 16, it's hard. I mean, there's so many weapons. Can't really key in on one person. It's hard to kind of outline one person as the superstar of this team. Jackson. Bias plays on. A little shove there. Back line for Puerto Rico has just faced so much pressure. That's a mistake. Able to get through. Try the clearance. That's the thing for Puerto Rico. It seems like a little bit frazzled and just trying to clear it out as best they can. So not as much intention on the clearances, just to maybe get the offense going from the back. And I'm sure there will be some adjustments made at the halftime break to just kind of see what Castro can plug in and mix up. Jackson sails over. You hear clear as day. Just heard Astrid tell Riley Jackson she's got to go to open space and get a little more open. I think she's been, you know, doesn't have a score, but she's been a really key cog in what the U.S. is doing right now. Everything has kind of started on her foot. Puerto Rico with some resilience. Trying to go the other way. Fuzio. Baez opts to send it back off the throw-in. So, again, we did see an early injury for Puerto Rico, so already have a sub as Gonzalez throws it in, stays with Puerto Rico. You know, with about 7 minutes, lots of young fans and players, of course, on the pitch as well, but would be nice for Puerto Rico to, you know, go into the halftime break just having put some pressure on the keeper in Gundry, and that's the first time that she's really touched the ball so far in this game, so progress for Puerto Rico, but Jackson's going the other way with the United States. Suarez already has a score. Martino up that right flank, hesitates, centers, left flank. Villarreal takes a shot. Oh my goodness, a brace. That's pretty nasty. Wow. Anderson has no chance on that, by the way. Villarreal has a brace in this one. I love the movement she has on her shots. So she has the second and fifth goal for the United States of 5-0 as we head towards the end of the first half. Jackson. Again, goes back to her center back and Frazier. Jackson up the right side. Hutton has a goal. It's a fourth one. Back to Hutton in the 18. Sends it back. There's the top of the circle. Pushed is Martino from behind. And a clearance for Puerto Rico. This defense must be gassed for Puerto Rico. Schmeiser circles back and draws a corner. Keegan Schmeiser for the United States. So prior to that Villarreal goal, it had been 4 different goal scorers. She's the first one to get a pair for the United States, up 5-0. You see her there. I mean, she's pretty complete as a player, but dangerous from distance. Jackson about to get this corner. Nicely placed in the air and just kind of slips through. United States 18 shots to no shots for Puerto Rico in this first half. Free kick for the U.S. I've not seen one of these from this close up for the United States so far. Jackson again. Back post. Anderson reads it well. And she's shown some really great flashes for Puerto Rico. It's been her against this entire U.S. team, essentially, in the first half. Jackson one-times it out in the 18. Nice defensive play. Another clear by a Burt. Off the volley there, gets it out of trouble for the United States. Burnsat at center back right now for Puerto Rico. Plays for Florida United in the United States. Right back in the attacking third, the U.S. goes. Again, we're approaching stoppage time. I don't think we're going to get too much of it because there really wasn't many fouls or stoppages, just on the goals, I guess, as that one lightly hit to Anderson. This takes her time. She deserves a break, that's for sure. Jackson, right past that midfield line, back with the U.S. Martino scored the first goal for the United States, and we've seen 4 since then. Cut off. Back to Frazier. Schmeizer's offside, excuse me. So we'll go back with Puerto Rico. It's the first offside we've seen called in this game. And that's because the goals for the United States have not really come in transition moments. They've been able to really, there's been one off a set piece. And they've also just been able to really take their time in the attacking third. They've had possession for the bulk of this game. Lots of space, lots of pockets. Everything's been calm and collected. It hasn't been, you know, spurts of inundating shots for Anderson or against Anderson. The United States has just had pretty much this entire game control of the ball. So allowed them to really just kind of calmly go about their business. And that is a whistle for the first half of action between the United States and Puerto Rico. Well, it's Villarreal with the brace. The United States takes a big lead going into the halftime break. U.S. up 5-0. Puerto Rico will talk things over and see what they've got going after halftime. Back after this on the Concacaf U17 Women's Championship. Take a look at the highlights between Puerto Rico and the United States. It's a U17 Concacaf Women's Championship. And the United States off to a immediate start. Beautiful feed and a beautiful finish from Martino. That's Lauren Martino, gets things kicked off, started, however you want to word it, for the U.S. See all the different angles and all the excitement as she tallies. Makes it 1-0. It's just a couple minutes into this game, and then right back where they left off. Villarreal with a great, again, another awesome dish. That's 11 minutes in. The connections have just been there for the U.S. That one is a sliver of a window. I love her shot. She is very accurate with it, and she's got some great movement at the end towards the tail end of the ball. Here's a service in. Suarez misses it. Villarreal heads it almost in. Suarez there for the second chance. She is the second forward to get on the board for the U.S. And again, this kind of all starts with a great look. Anderson made a great save for Puerto Rico. Not much you can do when you're diving off the rebound, hoping that someone marks up a cutter. Do not, and so we'll go the other way. Villarreal, oh my goodness, was that a great shot. And Anderson with an even better save. Look how she punches this up over the crossbar. I mean, it's not easy to do that at all. And again, we talked about the texture that Villarreal has. Couldn't get it past. Hutton with a beautiful head in off a corner kick. Suarez with that feed. Again, perfect placement, back post. And you see the posing for the picture as everyone's so pumped for the United States. And we're not done yet. So 4 different goal scorers up until this point, and then Villarreal says, I want a brace, and she gets one. What a finish here, like I said. I mean, this is from just about 18 yards out. Again, Anderson looking at it like, I can't do anything about it. She can't. That's top shelf, great action, upper 90, and it puts the U.S. up 5-0. That's where we are right now in the Women's Under-17 Championship. Here are the stats so far in this game. Boy, that possession time is shocking, but not if you've been watching this game. If you're just tuning in now, yes, the United States has dominated 80% of this game. That is absolutely true. Just the eye test would say something about that. I honestly would have said probably about 85%. 14 shots on target for the U.S., 23 shots in total, no shots at all for Puerto Rico right now. That's where we sit. If you're Puerto Rico, you're looking to get something going, whatever that is.
I went from maybe I can to I know I will. From isn't she cute to fight. Coaches who seem stuck on we can now say we did. From women's football to every 90 minutes, I'm reminded we belong.
Welcome back. Start of the second half between the United States and Puerto Rico. U17 Concacaf Women's Championship. And both these teams fighting to go to the round of 16. And we already see some subs coming in for both countries. For the United States, this will be sub number 1. Puerto Rico had to make a sub earlier in this game because of an injury. So it looks like Kiorps will come in. Nicolette Kiorps will come in for the United States. And she will take out Oliaro. So she'll be up at that right wing. And we got a couple more subs coming in for Puerto Rico as well. Nieves Melchor. And then we got a new keeper in as well. Karen Hernandez gets things started for the United States here in the second half. Again, it's 5-0 the score. U.S. up on Puerto Rico. We played 45 minutes, and we'll play another half in the Dominican Republic. This is group stage. If the United States holds on and wins this game, they already know that they're moving on to the round of 16. Puerto Rico will drop to 0-2 in this tournament. Foul called against Hutton and the United States. Hutton already has a goal today. Claire Hutton with a nice little finish in the first half. As we see, Anderson was subbed out for Puerto Rico, and they put a new keeper in. Up that left side, fighting for possession, Baez. Boxing out with the touch. On her back is Suarez. Two defenders on her. And Puerto Rico ends up touching it out. So it looks like Iri Arte is the one to come in for Puerto Rico. I just want to make sure that I got that right. Iri Arte is the new goalie. Alondra with the kick. And it was nothing to do with Anderson, but honestly, probably just trying to give her a break, give someone else a chance. It's 5-0. She made some great saves, Ariana Anderson, in that first half. Villarreal, so you're there. I mean, not much you can say about her first half, except for it was glorious. 2 goals, a brace for the United States. She's the only one to have a pair. Suarez has something to say about that. Goes wide. Trying to track it down. It's last touch. Looks like by the keeper there for Puerto Rico. Here's a corner. Off the foot of Jackson. Headed in the air. Hutton on the near post. It's bounced around off the rebound. Puerto Rico able to get it out of trouble. Offside, second one we've seen called against the United States. Go back. Take another look at it. Yep. Absolutely. Left wing. Lofted up for the cross, and again, keeper gets there first. Iriarte punts it out. Sent left. Back again. Again, just a couple of shifts for the United States, just some subs added in, but kind of the big pieces in that first half have stayed in. Martino, Suarez, Villarreal. Jackson, of course, up the middle, sprints forward. Suarez, left wing. Slices it back in, service in, a whiff on the initial opportunity. Villarreal to Hutton with a shot, and she finishes. A brace for Claire Hutton. She's the second one on the United States with a brace, and they go up 6-0. Boy, that just all came from little shifty play. Villarreal, again, when she doesn't score, she still has a lot to do with a finish. And look, she's in the corner. She knows she doesn't have a great angle, so what does she do? She finds a cutter coming up at that penalty spot. Hutton with the beautiful finish. Not enough time to get back for Puerto Rico. That's a first goal in the first half for the U.S. 6-0 on Puerto Rico. Close and saved. Iriarte got there first. Kiorp, since she's got in, has been pretty active on that right side. We'll see her on the right wing, number 11. Part of the starting lineup last time around. And now she's been inserted in here in the second half. We still haven't seen some of the other big pieces in that Granada win for the U.S. quite yet. And we honestly might not see them. Suarez lets it fly. Iriarte right there. Clipped, thread through, Puerto Rico. Let's see if they can get something going here. Off the right flank. Back up the middle, into the 18. Sent out to Hutton. Reverses, goes towards the center. And we just haven't talked about the backs for the United States, but that was Alyssa Gonzalez. Suarez taken off. Two ahead of herself there, goes out. Riley Jackson. Foul, yep. Definitely clipped there. Got a piece of Rivera on that one. Not the ball, got her calf. So we'll go back. The United States, I mean, that's, if you're just looking for flaws, which you're not going to find too much in this game. They've committed way more fouls than Puerto Rico's hasn't committed any, actually. Actually, just the one that led to the free kick in the first half. Everything else, they're pretty clean for Puerto Rico in that regard. Villarreal controls, surveys. Back to Jackson, captain today for the United States. Frazier, long ball, up the left side. Schmeiser, cut through by Suarez, nifty move about the 18. Now to Jackson. Jackson, Suarez one time, Villarreal, and a beautiful cut off. That's a great play by Puerto Rico. That was Maya Burt, the captain for Puerto Rico, getting in front of that, collided with her goalie, but survived. United States right back, putting some pressure. Thompson comes up. One timed out, goes wide. Start and stop. Moves to her left. Again, this is the road to the World Cup in India for the U17 level. Takes place in 2022. That's this year. Jackson. Gonzalez. And Jackson coming up a bit. Martino, head to head. Villarreal, the hat trick. Started with Martino, Villarreal with the finish. She's got 3. First player to reach that mark for the United States. And they go up 7-0 here in the second half. Let's take another look at this one. Starts with a great dish in. Martino, initial save is solid from Iriarte, but she needed some help with someone to stand on that goal line and clear it out. Obviously, with everyone coming full speed ahead, that was probably not going to happen, but needed someone to put their body on the line. Didn't work out that way. Villarreal, 3 goals. Each a little bit different, too, in the way that they've come about. Obviously had a great boot from pretty far out, around the 18. And the second goal, tapped one in. With that one, there's been so many, it's hard to remember all of them, but she joins a group of players with hat tricks and 4 goals last game. Had a pair with 4 last game and then one with 3 for the United States against Grenada. Actually, none of those players have played today. That's Kohler, Rabimbas, and Harvey. None of them have played, and now Villarreal enters an elite group to get there within, again, this is just 2 games into the Concacaf championship for the United States, and it's been pretty easy rolling so far. And again, if you're just kind of like looking at the future here in this tournament, I think Mexico is the team that could really give the United States some problems. Traditionally, Mexico has been, you know, right on line with the United States, especially recently. In 2018, when the U.S. won, it was Mexico who they met in the final, and the final of that game was 3-2. Thompson looks to get one of her own, starts and stops. Villarreal, can she get 4? Falls down in the 18. No whistle. Hutton, Villarreal, she's alone. Oh, just over the crossbar. Hutton is a very good distributor. She's got a brace herself, but again, I think the strength right now that we're seeing from the United States is that everybody has, there's nobody standing around on the field. There's been a ton of movement, and obviously I think that there's just been too much space to make decisions for the United States. Left alone, Villarreal again, cuts through, gets past the keeper, and an easy goal. She's got 4. U.S. goes up 8-0. Back-to-back goals for Villarreal here in the second half. Five to be the leading goal scorer for the U.S. in this tournament. I mean, again, just a great touch. Somehow, again, gets past Iriarte and then a defender. There hasn't been much disruption from Puerto Rico, and the U.S. has been able to kind of, I mean, it's not just dominate, but we saw the possession time 80-20 at the halftime break. It hasn't changed much here in the second half. Like I said, there's too much time for the U.S. to kind of think about what they're doing and then make the right play. And with a team so skilled, you kind of got to push them to make mistakes, get them a little frazzled. U.S. hasn't looked frazzled once in this game. Gonzalez comes out. Again! 5 goals for Villarreal, and now she is just putting on a show. She's the leading goal scorer for the United States now. The first player to do that for the U.S. 5 goals. Insanity, and if you're Puerto Rico, it's almost like you just have to know where she is. Completely lost. Cuts at the 18. Perfect timing, doesn't go offside. That's off a volley too, essentially, a bounce in front of her. I mean, she's got, her shot's really nice. I mean, I know we're just singing the praises here, but that's another great feed. Gonzalez with the assist. And we're gonna see a sub. So the United States make a change. I mean, it's not like it's getting more dangerous now, because Martino, who had the first goal in this game, just came out. And then Shea Harvey had 4 goals last Saturday against Granada, just checked in. Let's see what Harvey does as she enters, a midfielder for the United States. Plays for Slammers FC, that's her youth club. Kiorps looks to keep it with the U.S. in the attacking zone. Hutton muscles through. Does a full spin around before it's taken away by Puerto Rico. Thompson. Kiorps goes to work. Nifty move, takes a shot. And she was aiming for that low corner, pretty close. Iriarte with a diving cut off of the angle there, as the U.S. goes up 9-0 right now. And again, over half of the goals have come from Villarreal. Amalia Villarreal, just a game for the ages. She will not forget about this one anytime soon, I'm sure. Again, the U.S. plays today, and then they've got still a couple more games in the group stage because they've got to go around and play Costa Rica as well. Still got a good 25 minutes and then some left in this one. We'll see what the United States does and how they operate here. Doesn't look like they're going to take their foot off the gas, I should say, in the 18. Kiorps off the crossbar, the rebound. Clearance there for Puerto Rico, but the U.S. gets it right back. Offside. Let's take another look at this. Again, 2 defenders right at the penalty spot. Kiorps didn't have, her body was kind of shifting in the opposite way in which she was trying to shoot that, and she still got a great look off, you know, not the clean cut, weight over your shoulder way you would like to take a shot, and it still looked awesome. And I think since she's been entered in the second half, she's been dying to score. As Thompson comes up wide on that right wing, hesitates, deflects it off a defender. Got a piece of Anderson. Kiorps with the service in. Suarez leaning back, trying to keep it in the 18, off in the corner. Trying to find the seams. Hutton goes for the hat trick, and she gets it. A finish for Claire Hutton. $10-0 is the score here in the second half. The United States completely in control of this game right now. Let's take another look. So that, I mean, honestly, starts with Suarez. Can't tell if that actually touched someone else or if it was just a clean cross in from Suarez. Might have touched the head of Rabimbas, who's in the game. Melina Rabimbas had a hat trick the last time out against Granada. And she's wearing number 14 up top. There she is. Looks around, goes wide. Kiorps. This is the group now. Not completely, but this is a big bulk of the group that scored 20 against Granada, now in the game for the United States here in the second half. So through a full game and just a little more than a half, the United States has scored 30 goals, and they have not conceded 1 goal. Puerto Rico is still without a shot in this game. Suarez from distance. That's nasty from Suarez, and it's 11-0. She's got 2. A brace for Suarez. So again, let's just go through the multi-goal scorers here because it's a lot. Villarreal has 5 goals in this game. Claire Hutton has a hat trick, and then Suarez adds her name to a list of multi-goal scorers for the United States. Off her right foot, upper 90. Great stuff. Let's take a look again. I mean, that's at the corner of the 18. Change of direction. Basically a 1v1 there as Puerto Rico looks kind of defeated right now. I understand. It's 11-0. Puerto Rico hasn't been able to, you know, gain any sort of steam at all. Handball. Castrain's got to be more than pleased. I mean, she really, you can still hear her directing traffic. There's always room to grow in a game, but the United States has been nearly perfect so far in this Concacaf Women's Championship game against Puerto Rico. Here are the numbers. 9 assists for the United States on 11 goals. That's a great mark right there. 29 shots for the U.S. compared to no shots for Puerto Rico, like I just outlined. That is not great. Corner kicks 9-0 too. Kiorps, she's been looking for 1. Falls down in the 18. Play on. And again, so Puerto Rico initially, like I said, was playing with 5 defenders back. They've shifted their defense or their lineup shape even more, and now they're going with a 5-4-1. Because, I mean, you can see it. Everybody's back, which means that, well, I mean, the reason is to try to stop the goal scoring as Suarez cuts towards the 6. Sent out. out of trouble. But what it also means is that you don't have numbers at all. So once you get a clearance, you're right back to playing defense because you don't have anyone streaking up, you know, having an opportunity to then take off in transition. None of that's going on for Puerto Rico right now, which I guess is what you, the point is. Kiorps has an angle. She scores. She was due for one. Nicolette Kiorps. Iriarte and this Puerto Rico team has to be frustrated, and it's totally understandable. That was, again, it was much like one of the RPL's goals, in which the timing was perfect to just not go offside, got to time that correctly, and for Puerto Rico just losing players for the United States in moments like that, that's just a communication lapse. Still got a lot of game to go. Second half, Puerto Rico, United States going on in the Concacaf U17. $12-0 the score. Foul committed by the U.S., so go with Puerto Rico. That's been the only downside for the U.S. They have 7 fouls compared to 1 for Puerto Rico in this one. But here are the different goal scorers now for the U.S. Martino, Villarreal, Suarez, Hutton, and Kiorps. 3 with multi-goals, and then Kiorps and Martino have 1 apiece. Here's Hutton going for 4. Gets past 3 defenders. Chaos in front. And a shot that goes straight to the keeper in Iriarte. Or Bimbas got a nice foot on that. We got a player down for Puerto Rico. Let's see. Yeah, that was an awkward moment. That's Rivera. Saw there number 8. Now everyone taking a hydration break. And we're in the Dominican Republic, Concacaf U17. Couple more games going on tonight, especially at this field. The other 2 teams in this group, Grenada and Costa Rica, will play at 7 Eastern time. And again, the thing is, Costa Rica, so they've beat Puerto Rico 4-1. Then they'll have to beat Grenada. And then if they do that, their only hope is to beat the United States, because the United States scored so many goals and stuff like that. Even if they got a draw, it wouldn't matter. The United States would have a tiebreaker there. Gonzalez works from behind. Thompson disrupted there by the defense. Andrea Haddock for Puerto Rico. Jackson and the U.S. get it back. Frazier. Kiorps just finished a little while ago here in the second half. Jackson, Kiorps. US up 12-0. The count for this CONCACAF tournament in terms of goals scored, 32 for the United States, and we haven't even finished the second match. So it's just been an offensive explosion, much to the chagrin of the teams that the U.S. has played so far. Thompson. Fiorps gets the angle and draws a corner. Haven't seen a set piece from the United States too much in this second half, and so they'll get a chance for one right here. Again, you see Astrain, assistant coach Morgan Church, Samuel Rapper. Just done a really nice job of putting together 20 players on the roster that, you know, work really well together, complement each other in fantastic ways. We've seen so many examples of that, 12 to be exact. Lofted in, Iriarte right there. Again, it was Ariana Anderson to start this game in net for Puerto Rico. They made a change at halftime, put Iriarte out there just to see if they can, you know, get some. I mean, I don't. Here's what I'll say. Anderson played really well, so I don't think it was because of the way she played. I think sometimes as a keeper, just for sanity purposes, it's good to switch things up a little bit in those situations. Don't want to have one keeper just dealing with all that Anderson was dealing with throughout that first half. And Iriarte is getting a tough taste of what the United States can offer. Rimbas at the penalty spot. Nice defensive stop for Puerto Rico. Charging back the other way. Right back. Suarez. Schmeiser. Rainbow in, and Rabimbas gets ahead on that, but it lands left. Another sub for Puerto Rico. Krakauer will come in. Madison Krakauer replaces Ellie Gonzalez. The other end for the United States, Mia Buda comes in. Looks like Riley Jackson will come out. She'll give her armband off to Buda. Gets a hug from her head coach. Jackson didn't score, but boy, she played a huge part in what the United States was trying to do. Most notably, just regaining possession time and time again for the U.S., setting up nice plays, getting those wings open for the United States. Her vision is super solid, and she's obviously got the will to just kind of win back any sort of battles, any duels. Jackson's got it covered, more so than not. Thompson. Collision in the midfield. Also, I should note that Riley Jackson finished with 3 assists in this game. It's hard to keep track of all these stats coming in for the United States because there's so many players with multi-goal games, multi-assist games. Jackson, part of that elite group. Villarreal is obviously probably going to end up being the MVP as Fiorps is offside. It's just not every day, no matter who the opponent is, even in a game like this where the U.S. has just been, you know, trying to find a different word than dominant. From the get-go, it's been the U.S. party, essentially. The offense has been relentless all game. But it's still, I mean, it doesn't really matter. 5 goals is 5 goals. You just do not hear that happen at all. And then to have Villarreal get 5 goals, and then to have someone like Hutton finish with a hat trick, I mean, it's just incredible. And Hutton's still out there. She could get 4. And again, I said this stat a little bit earlier, as Hutton opts to go back. Out to Suarez, left wing, service in. Missed header opportunity. Pops out. Buda puts it wide. Play on there for a second, and then they will actually whistle that one down. Should be a free kick here. Let's see. Kiorps, yeah, just a full wrap around there. Can't do that. Free kick for the United States.
Allo! Allo!
And it looks like Gonzalez. Yeah, Ellie Gonzalez is a little banged up. She was the one going head-to-head with Kiorps. We really haven't seen that many free kicks for the United States because there hasn't been any fouls. But with Jackson out, Kiorps will take this one.
Eli!
Suarez there as well. Will fake out. Kiorps with that loft, and it goes right to the keeper in Iriarte. Just didn't have enough air on it. Scoring slowed for the United States in the last couple of minutes. It's really not saying too much, but it does not seem like they're going to meet or reach that 20 goal mark that they got to a little bit earlier in the week against Grenada. Leading pass, Thompson. Just too high on that. She's been in the whole time, and I think the U.S. is trying to get her something. Played well, obviously. I mean, not everyone can score, although with the 2 games combined, we've come pretty close to having everyone score for the U.S. Everyone in the midfield and forward lines, pretty much. Hutton going for number 4. Iriarte holds. So what I was thinking, I was about to complete this thought a little earlier, but if Suarez gets another goal, then that would mean 3 players have scored 3 or more goals in this game. And if that happens, U.S. ties a record set by themselves against Grenada. Again, not a record at the U17 level, a record in the U.S. women's national team program as a whole. See if they get there. Suarez is still in. See their number 9, fighting for it. Bumps through, corner. Castillo didn't really have an option there. Here's another corner for the United States. We'll see if Kiorps is the one to take it or not. They will go with Harvey. Looking for lucky number 13 are the United States here against Puerto Rico. Concacaf U17 Women's Championship. It's a group stage. If the U.S. pulls off a win, I think it's safe to say they will move on to the round of 16. Soars over, and look at that from behind. Frazier gets on the board. Nikki Frazier, center back with the U.S. today, comes up on a set piece. Gets a 13th goal for the United States. Take a look again. That just sails over everybody for Puerto Rico. And who's there sneaking in from behind at that back post? I mean, that's a tough deflection there for Puerto Rico as well. Let's see. Looks like Ariza there. That was who was the one to touch it for Puerto Rico. Well, this has been a commanding performance from the United States, no doubt about it. So Panama and Mexico play at 7 p.m. And Grenada and Costa Rica, those are the games on Monday. Trinidad and Tobago in action right now against Nicaragua, and that score is 4-0. Nicaragua is leading at the moment. And there's about 10 minutes to go in that one. So that seems pretty safe to call that a win as well. Again, those teams not in the group that United States are in doesn't mean that they can't play in the round of 16. Lots more games coming up on Wednesday. United States will take on Costa Rica on Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern time, of course. And Puerto Rico takes on Grenada at 4 as well. Interested to see how that one plays out. I think that would be a pretty competitive game for Puerto Rico. And honestly, on paper, if you're just going off of, you know, who's been more competitive so far, I think Puerto Rico has potential to win that game and pull off win number one in the group stage. So we'll see. Suarez, Thompson. Thompson last to touch. Well, it's a fun debut for Giselle Thompson and company. I mean, a couple of games, like a couple of players, excuse me, like Gundry, Thompson. Alyssa Gonzalez was very solid at center back today, making their international debuts today. The United States had 16 players make their international debut against Grenada. So, I mean, really, this is pretty much a brand new team. Of course, it's the U17 level, so it's the youngest level. You can't play before this on an international stage. So everyone got their first cap, and then there was just 4 players left, and so they got the start today. Astrain rotated them in today. And so now everyone's played in this tournament, which is a great thing to see. As you see, all smiles from the United States bench. Villarreal is so pleased. Just saw her sneak in at the last minute on that picture. 5 goals for her. She is absolutely the hero for the United States. Nobody else has done that so far. We're only 2 games in. Now I think Costa Rica will be a pretty formidable opponent for the United States. But right now, it just doesn't seem like anyone stopping them. In group play, swerving through and getting called for the foul, the U.S. there. Looks like Keorp's committed one. Suarez hasn't been taken out. A little nifty behind the back pass. Thompson. Now if you're Puerto Rico, I mean, with just a minute or so left, might as well just kind of send everyone forward. So you saw some aggression there. See if we can make some noise late. Yeah, this Melchor just drew the foul for Puerto Rico. Checked in as a substitute here in the second half. She'll take that kick. Big one. Played through the air. Still up there. Suarez. She get that hat trick. Ooh, nutmeg there. Harvey. Drifting around, no one near for Puerto Rico. Suarez, a little give and go with Thompson. And that will do it. Puerto Rico in the United States playing 90 minutes in the United States is completely in control for the entire game. 13 goals for the U.S., none for Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico does not get a shot off against the U.S. And the hero in this game with the most goals so far of anyone in the Concacaf U17 tournament, Amalia Villarreal. 5 goals, 5. Claire Hutton is overshadowed even though she gets a hat trick. It's a top to bottom complete performance for the United States. And they're now 2-0 in group play. It also means the United States is for sure going to the round of 16. Puerto Rico, I mean, put up a really nice fight, and you got to credit to Anderson and Iriarte, who just had an incredible amount of shots put towards them. Let's take the final look at shots. We'll have stats at some point as well coming up in highlights, but yeah, I mean, it was just not much you can do if you're a keeper. You're playing a full 90 minutes of just action on action on action. No time to just kind of gather your thoughts. And it's just one of those performances where the U.S. reigns supreme and just kind of shows the talent pool that they have clearly at this level. And we'll see if Costa Rica, coming up next against the United States on Wednesday,
Nos encontramos con Andrea Haddock
has
de
any
la
sort of
Selección Nacional
answer.
de Puerto Rico. Andrea, al final un partido difícil, pero que deja mucha enseñanza, ¿no?
Sí, claro, no fue un partido fácil. El rival, nada que ver, es muy difícil, lo sabemos, pero sé que juntas vamos a poder lograr jugar mejor y complementarnos cada vez más.
Ese tipo de torneos, más allá de ganarlos, dejan algún tipo de enseñanza. ¿Qué enseñanza te deja para ti y para tus compañeras?
Claro, seguir adelante. En el poco tiempo que llevamos lo hemos hecho súper bien. Yo sé que cada partido lo vamos a hacer mucho mejor y cada partido va a ser una enseñanza para todas nosotras.
Queda por último ganar el partido dentro de 2 días para que se lleven por lo menos 3 puntos a casa.
Claro, lo vamos a dar todas, mis compañeras y yo no nos vamos a rendir. Siempre tenemos la cabeza arriba y sé que lo vamos a dar todo en cada partido, a pesar de las derrotas, lo vamos a hacer súper bien, yo lo sé.
Muchas gracias, Andrea.
Gracias a ustedes.
Amalia Villarreal, USA national team. Amalia, great performance. Today you scored 5 goals. Have you ever scored 5 goals with your national team?
Well, no, because this is really like the first total appearance that I've had on the national team besides the previous game. But I think we just did a really good job overall. Like the whole team effort to get me those goals was really amazing.
This is your second victory. Do you feel favored to win to the tournament?
Well, I just think that like the work that we're putting toward this is really going to help us throughout the whole tournament. And I mean, if the odds are in our favor, then yeah.
Thank you, Amalia.
Thank you.
All right, Women's Under-17 Concacaf Championship. We'll take the highlights here from the United States win. And it was all United States from the get-go. So early goal here, Lauren Martino finds it back in the net. Great finish, gets the ball rolling for the U.S. Goes opposite corner, pretty much top shelf there. And that just ignites this offense. And then Villarreal, just a superstar today. I mean, there is just so much to say about her performance, but that is an early goal, run of play, off in transition. The U.S. gets goal number 2, and it really, like I said, it just does not stop from there. Here's a great cross. Villarreal with the second chance. No, Suarez gets the third goal. So it's 3-0 now. We got 3 different goal scorers, as again, that one sails past everyone. Villarreal unable to finish at first, and then Suarez there to clean up. Anderson made a great save for Puerto Rico, but just too many players down there for the U.S. And then off a corner here, we'll see a set piece. Finally, for the United States, Suarez with a cross, and Sutton gets involved. That's Claire Hutton gets involved. That is her first goal. She'll have many more. This is just the first half. Remember, we're in the opening minutes of the first half. U.S. is up 4-0 at this point. And then back again, Villarreal, 18, nasty stuff. I mean, Anderson had no options. The texture on that is unreal. Upper 90, that's her second goal. Villarreal will score 3 more. 5 goals for Villarreal. That was the first half, those highlights. Second half, Villarreal, who else? Doesn't have the angle, so what does she do? She dumps it off, and who's there? Claire Hutton. Goal number 2 for Hutton, and picks up an assist. Does Villarreal with her left foot. Jukes out Iriarte, who is the new keeper in for Puerto Rico, and Hutton gets some love from her teammates there for the United States. It does not stop there. Martino racing through, cuts off the deflection. Villarreal, again, how many times am I going to say her name? I'm not done yet, I promise. Again, just a bouncer. She scored in many different ways. You saw her in transition. You saw her from the 18, from deep. And then she gets there off the rebound as well. And then she comes right back. 2 defenders she gets by, and against kind of the way her body was positioned, she's still able to finish. Again, she's going the opposite direction. Turns, squares, nobody home. Villarreal again. 5 goals. And she ends up getting subbed out in this game for the United States, getting some new players in the mix, but not before Villarreal is done scoring. So she has 5. Another great feed, this time from the center back in Gonzalez, who gets a point as well for the United States. And it's an even bigger lead. Ballooned for the United States. They're not done. Again, finishing with 13 goals. This one, just pure athleticism from Hutton. Just races forward. Again, unmarked at the back post off this cross. Too easy. She's got a hat trick. One of many players to get multi-goals. Here's the other one, Suarez. Deep. Nasty stuff there. Honestly, just playing with it. Jukes out the defender. And Suarez gets her second goal, so she finishes with a brace. Not offsides here is Kiorps. Great shot. Kiorps was subbed in the second half. Again, a long ball back from the defense. And Kiorps, upper 90. I mean, we're not done. We're not done goal scoring for the United States. Lofted in again. Tough bounce. And then from the center back, we actually get a score from the back line. It's Nikki Fraser off that crossbar. Lots of players were unmarked for the United States. That's it for the goal scoring for the U.S. 13-0. United States takes down Puerto Rico. Sportsmanship there as it's a solid all-around victory, a commanding win for the United States over Puerto Rico in the Women's Concacaf U17 Championship. Look at those stats. 43 shots for the United States, none for Puerto Rico. 26 shots on target for the United States. We saw the possession time dip a little bit for the U.S., 76% in that second half, but I mean, I don't know. It's just a complete commanding performance for the U.S., 11 corners as well. And that will do it. The United States and Puerto Rico will get another crack at it on Wednesday. Both teams in action, and the United States looks to solidify movement towards that round of 16. Again, a absolutely dominating, commanding, whatever word you want to use for it. The United States starts out strong, finishes strong, everything strong in between, and ultimately pulls off a 13-0 victory over Puerto Rico in the CONCACAF Women's U17 Championship. We'll say so long from the Dominican Republic. I'm Maura Sheridan. Have a great night, everyone.